Tonight's episode of Billions kicks off with Bobby Axelrod standing in an empty football stadium. He heard from an inside source that the team will be up for sale, and he's interested, even though the sale hasn't been officially announced yet. Chuck and Wendy are in therapy. They discuss the children, and how the split has been affecting them. Chuck explains that his son Kevin wanted Chuck to promise he and Wendy would get back together. Wendy is impressed by the response that Chuck gave Kevin, and tells him that he's a really good dad. The therapist is thrilled by her compliment and thinks that they are making progress. Then, Wendy does a complete 10. She thinks it's time for Chuck to find himself a place of his own. Axe is still obsessed with his new rival Todd Krakow. Apparently, Todd has been tweeting about a high-stakes poker game called the Alpha Cup. Wags warns Axe that Todd wins every year, and they should probably sit out the poker game. Lawrence Boyd meets up with Bobby Axelrod so that they can compare notes. Now Chuck has opened a case against him, and he wants Bobby to help him get out of it. Of course, the only reason Chuck started the case was so that the Attorney General couldn't fire him. Now, Chuck has his work cut out for him actually finding a case against Lawrence Boyd. At his office, Chuck's team tells him that Boyd is squeaky clean and they can't find anything on him except for a flight attendant possibly overhearing him talking on a plane and making an inside trade from her eavesdropping. Taylor is interested in the Wall Street charity poker tournament. She reveals to some of her co-workers that Axe invited her to play at his table. Dollar Bill freaks out. He storms into Bobby's office and screams at him for giving up his chair at the tournament. Todd shows up at Wendy's office unexpectedly. He brought her a gift, a coupon for $5,000 worth of spa treatments. Todd wants Wendy to come to the poker tournament with him. He is willing to pay her to be his coach. Basically, he just wants her to rattle Bobby by being on his team. Taylor is surprised when she learns that Axelrod tracked down her old online poker username, and that's why he invited her to play with him at the tournament. It turns out that Taylor quit playing poker years ago, and she doesn't want to play in the tournament. She says that the game makes her nauseous.